What if Yuta had been here right alongside Yuji and Higuruma? How might things have changed? Shout out to Zari for the question, and spoilers beware. Alright, so if Akotsu had really pulled up right then and there, then Sukuna was most likely cooked. I think the beginning of the fight still remains the same, with Higuruma and Yuji trapping Sukuna in Higuruma's domain so that they can get the confiscation and the death penalty. It would still only take Kamutoke, but they would then have the Executioner's Sword and they would be trying to strike Sukuna with it, just like they did without Akotsu. Except now, as soon as Higuruma's domain ends, Yuta is going to cast his, trapping everyone in it, but we know that he can selectively target who he wants to in the domain, so he will only target Sukuna. Sukuna is now in a position where he needs to cast Hollow Wicker Basket, defend against Akotsu, Yuji, Choso, Kusakabe, everyone else that was in that immediate area, and Higuruma, who's wielding the Executioner's Sword. And if nothing else, it's only a matter of time until Akotsu picks up a cursed speech katana in his domain and tells Sukuna not to move. GG. Now, I think that's how it would likely go, but to be fair, we can't know what we can't know, right? And maybe Sukuna, pressed with that type of threat, would have acted differently. You know, a caged animal is going to fight till the last breath. So maybe he does something crazy with binding vows, or maybe he takes a very risky move by destroying his brain and recreating it. I mean, who knows? So I'm not saying it wouldn't have been impossible for him to fight back against that, but given what we know, it seems like he largely would have been cooked there. So why didn't they do that then? Are they dumb? And I guess that's for you to decide, but this was something that was explicitly brought up within the story where Yuta here is wondering if he made the wrong choice. Should he have been here from the start? He says, I brought upon this situation, everything is my fault because I wanted to finish off Kinjaku with my own hands. Now again, whether or not this was a wise decision from Yuta is up for debate, but at the end of the day, the Shinjuku Showdown was always a two-headed dragon. They had to deal with both Sukuna and Kinjaku, and they figured that the best chance to deal with both of them was the route they ended up taking, by having Yuta and Toro basically go sneak Kinjaku after he was dealing with Takaba, and then have him come back to fight Sukuna as quickly as possible. Again, was it the right decision? I don't know, but it worked out for them in the end, right? And who knows if Yuta hadn't gone to deal with Kinjaku, what that might have looked like. Because sure, maybe they kill Sukuna that way, but then boom, Kinjaku has gone off and finished all of the final preparations for the merger and now rolls up on Jujutsu Society, who are all now weak and depleted from having fought Sukuna, and maybe just finishes off the rest of them and then starts the merger, right? Would that have happened? Who knows, but it was at least a contingency that they thought about, and they figured, this is our best shot. Let's send Yuta after him, and then just come back and help us as soon as you can, King.